Greetings everyone, Phil here from Nintendo Village. Thanks very much for joining us. Far and away, the most popular video on this channel so far is our best co-op games on Switch video. And in the comments you guys suggested a whole bunch of other ones, and of course there's been some great new ones released since we made that video. So we're back with another batch. Yeah, we've got another 20 co-op games on Switch. I've divided them up once again by genre, so if you're after something in particular, or you like a certain type of game, there's timestamps down in the description, you could jump straight to the relevant point. Hope you enjoyed this video and you find it useful. If you do, consider subscribing as we have new videos up every single week. And so, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with platformers then, and Super Mario 3D World is one of the best on the system, period. One of a whole bunch of Wii U titles that have made their way over to Switch, it brought its competitive co-op gameplay with it. You've obviously all got to work together to reach the goal pole, but there's some friendly competition in racking up the most points and wearing the crown too. This one's also playable both offline with multiple Joy-Con, or over the internet. Highly recommended. Ib and Ob is an inventive puzzle platformer with a cool gravity shifting mechanic. Each level is split in half with the gravity flipped in each half of the stage. You and your partner, playing as the titular Ib and Ob, then have to use this mechanic to solve puzzles and defeat enemies in order to progress. It's a cool mechanic that results in some rather clever level design. Well worth giving a whirl if you've enjoyed these sort of platforming challenges in the past. Putty Pals is another puzzle platformer where you and a friend, playing as the titular balls of rubber, have to work together to overcome the game's various challenges. For example, you can use each other to bounce higher and reach certain platforms, or grab onto each other heave-ho style and swing your partner to safety. It's a fun time shouting instructions at each other, and it's a game that's fairly cheap too. Finally on the platformer front is Yoshi's Crafted World. Now, if you're a platforming veteran, there's not tons of challenge here. At least not until you start hunting down all the secrets and tackle the endgame. But if you're playing with a younger gamer or a more casual partner, you can't go wrong with Yoshi. The levels are fairly forgiving in design and there's not too many intimidating enemies either. But the whole thing is in an adorable package with plenty of fun extras to uncover. Okay, that's platformers covered, let's move on to some action-adventure games. And if you're a fan of dungeon crawlers, you've got plenty of options. And where better to start than Minecraft's answer to Diablo, Minecraft Dungeons. If you're perhaps looking to dip your toe into the dungeon crawler genre for the first time, this is a great place to start. It features the usual hack and slash gameplay typical of the genre, but is a little shallower than something like Diablo or Divinity, making it more accessible for newbies or younger players. Naturally, it features the now iconic Minecraft visual style too, and is a solid spin-off from the core game. Local and or online co-op is easily accessible through a drop in and out menu, so whether you're sat miles apart or huddled together on the couch with a Joy-Con each, you're good to go. If you are after a deeper experience, we'd highly recommend Children of Morta. It features deeper RPG mechanics than something like Minecraft Dungeons, and also, unusually for the genre, a deep and engaging story. Two of you can tackle the narrative together locally, one that's expertly woven through the game's procedurally generated gameplay, by controlling one of the 6 playable members of the Morta family. Jeff over at the Nindy Nation podcast gave this a 5-star review when it arrived on Switch, which I'll link down in the description if you're keen for more info. For a slightly different take on the roguelike dungeon crawler, and indeed for a slightly different take on co-op, you should check out Crawl. Again, the levels are procedurally generated, but as you make your way through the game as the sole human, up to 3 of your friends are working together as ghosts to set traps, summon demons, and generally just try to take you down. Whoever manages it then takes over the body, and you join the team of spectres. It's a great one to play if you've got 3 or 4 of you, and a fun asymmetric multiplayer experience. Moving away from the dungeon crawler genre, but retaining that hack and slash gameplay, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity also features split-screen co-op play. If you're unfamiliar with Age of Calamity, it's a Musou game in which you take on hordes and hordes of enemies laying waste to them with a whole bunch of different characters. What makes this one unique is the game is set prior to the events of Breath of the Wild. Koei Tecmo worked closely with Nintendo to nail the lore, look and feel of the game, so if you and a friend both enjoyed Breath of the Wild and want to delve deeper into the game's story together, this is exactly what you're looking for. Finally on the action front, we have Monster Hunter Rise. I must confess, I've owned 3 different Monster Hunter games in the past and never really got into them. The core gameplay loop of hunting down fearsome monsters in order to turn their body parts into weapons and armour is a good one, but I always felt like something was missing. That all changed once I played Rise with some friends. Teaming up with 2 or 3 hunters really brings the experience to life, and by all accounts, Rise is one of the best Monster Hunter experiences going. Okie doke, time for my favourite co-op genre, the beat 'em up. It's not on this list because it was on the last one, but if you haven't played Streets of Rage 4 yet, make sure you do so, that game is awesome. Anyway, time for this batch. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, is a game, obviously, that will be instantly familiar to fans of the comics or the Michael Cera film. You work your way through the game's various stages, taking on the League of Evil X's, accompanied by a killer soundtrack and a gorgeous art style. Up to 4 people can take control of characters like Scott and Ramona, both locally and online, to make taking on the waves of enemies a little easier, plus some minor RPG elements like leveling up into consumables, and a slightly more unique twist to the genre. Wolver Blade was one of the earlier Switch releases that I ended up putting a good chunk of time into, and for good reason. Set in ancient Britain, you take control of some gnarly Scots who are beating back the invading Romans. The gameplay itself is great and offers a stiff challenge to those who are looking for it, but the thing I love most about Wolver Blade is the way it also offers some historical insights when you finish certain stages. It's not often you can go from throwing a severed head at someone to learning a bit of British history. I'm all about that. If you're low on funds, you can give Super Kirby Clash a whirl. It's a free-to-play brawler, so yes, there are microtransactions, but they can be avoided and the core gameplay is rather fun. It's a variation on the genre in that you and your teammates take on various boss fights, using the abilities of the 4 different Kirbys to emerge victorious. You can also spend the in-game currency to get new weapons and a bunch of cool hats. Sweet. Lastly on the beat 'em up front is Castle Crashers. Bit of a cult classic this one, and if you spend even 10 minutes with it, you'll see why. The fun, fast-paced gameplay is complemented by a great art style and a fantastic sense of humour. The varied level design and RPG mechanics where you can level up numerous skills, not to mention the wide cast of characters you can unlock, keep things interesting from start to finish too. Up to 4 of you can play together either locally or online, and you're guaranteed to have a rip-roaring good time if you do. That's the button mashers taken care of. Next up is some puzzle/strategy games, although some of them could probably be more accurately classed as party games. You'll see what I mean. Co-op or not, you should really own Pikmin 3 Deluxe anyway, as it's an absolutely superb game in a Nintendo franchise that's criminally underrated. Still though, with a single player mode tasking you with switching between multiple captains in order to solve the environmental puzzles each of the game's locations throws at you, Pikmin 3 always felt made for co-op. Happily, the Switch port of the Wii U game adds in co-op play, and if you ask me, it's the best way to experience the game. Good Job is another Nintendo published title, although this time one developed by indie outfit Paladin Studios. You're tasked with completing a particular objective on each floor of a building, and are given free rein to accomplish that goal however you see fit. Physics-based puzzler that it is, it's guaranteed to result in a few laughs, and although it's primarily been crafted with single player in mind, a second player makes some of the puzzles much more manageable, whilst holding the potential for a whole lot more carnage. If you're an Overcooked fan, then you might want to check out Catastronauts. It takes the same fundamental cooperative experience of Overcooked, but instead of asking you to run a kitchen, it tasks you with manning a spaceship. You'll have to power up the guns to fend off alien attackers, put out fires caused by that onslaught, and even hide in a pressurised chamber whenever there's a solar flare. It's a fun and frantic experience that always results in a few laughs. And if laughs is what you're after, Moving Out should be on your list too. You and up to 3 friends are tasked with loading up a removal van. The catch being what, precisely, you're loading up. You might have to grab each end of a cow between you, or carry a sofa out of a haunted mansion. It's another physics-based party puzzler that we always have a great time playing whenever we break it out. Finally, we've got a trio of shooters for you, a shmup, an FPS, and a run and gunner. Let's start with the shmup then, and if you've got a group of friends who are connoisseurs of the genre, Hyperion Cyberstorm will be right up your alley. Although most of the games in this video were designed for 2 to 4 players, Hyperion Cyberstorm does you one better, allowing up to 5 people to join in the action. You can all play through the stylish campaign together, and then there's a bunch of versus modes for you to see who's really the best once the credits roll too. Rico is an FPS that takes the breach and clear sections you'd occasionally find in something like COD or Rainbow Six, and makes an entire game out of it. You can play co-op online or locally via split screen, and whilst it's not the deepest shooter you'll ever pick up, the randomly generated missions ensure no 2 doors you kick down will ever lead to the same room twice. Lastly, but no means least, is Mercenary Kings. On the surface, it's a run and gun platformer, and it certainly leans into its tropes in a rather self-aware way, pulling on the likes of Contra for inspiration. However, it also adds some interesting RPG elements to proceedings, giving you more to think about as you spit lead in every direction. You can also team up with up to 3 friends, both locally and online, so you'll have no trouble finding someone to watch your back in the heat of the action. And there you have it, guys, another great 20 co-op games you can find on Nintendo Switch. If you didn't see it already, make sure you go and check out the other video with co-op games as well, in case you didn't really like the look of anything here. And be sure to subscribe to the channel as we have new videos up every single week. Don't forget to check out thenintendovillage.com for more Nintendo news, reviews, features, podcasts, and all that cool stuff. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you all next time.